Hey, welcome back to your weekly dose of holistic wellness and positive energy. I'm your host, Amanda McCormick. I'm here to guide you on a journey to a happier, more fulfilled life. So if you're new here, each week we explore practical tips, inspiring conversations, and we discover new ways to embrace happiness in every aspect of your life. So we dive into healthy habits, mindful practices, and simple strategies that can help you create lasting positive change. This is the Happy Hippie Podcast, where wellness meets happiness and transformation begins with you. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. In last week's episode, we talked about 4 different mindsets that kind of hold us back in a lot of different areas of life. And the first thing we talked about, spoiler if you didn't listen, was procrastination and perfectionism, like the root of it. We discovered how procrastination and perfectionism is actually rooted in fear and based in fear, and it's a way that it projects into your life. And today I actually want to dive a little bit deeper into this topic. It's not really what we talked about exactly last time. We're going to break it down into a different aspect of it. This is going to be a very powerful but digestible kind of nugget of information. So definitely save this one and come back to it whenever you need a reminder. I'm trying to make this episode short but very impactful. So I've gotten a lot of DMs basically about this topic over time, and truthfully it comes up a lot for me too. So that's why I'm doing this episode. I find myself repeating these processes that we're going to talk about to bring me back to a grounded state, a feeling of safety, and then I'm able to expand and move on and actually push through the perfectionism. So remember, basically, we discovered that perfectionism often stems from the logic that if it's not perfect, you're going to be judged. And if you're judged, then you're going to be rejected. And that comes from that animal part of our brain that, you know, if we do something different, if we stand out and the tribe kicks us out, then we lose our access to food, to shelter, and we might end up like, dying. So our brain sees not fitting in with people and doing things that are different and things that kind of raise questions as something that's super scary and can kill us. And it's not true at all, but that's how our head is hardwired. So we talked a little bit about that. Again, check in on that last episode. If you didn't, perfectionism was the first thing we talked about, so you don't even have to listen to the whole episode. I mean, I would like it if you did, but you don't have to. You can listen to like the first 5 minutes and it should come up. But again, we're using it as like a mask, perfectionism. We want to hold ourselves back because we're scared of putting ourselves out there and doing these things. Try to keep in mind some areas in your life that you have this logic around. I did use the journal question in the last episode that where are you using perfectionism as a mask to delay being in your full power, to kind of offset that process, to make it less scary, to not fully put yourself out there? Where are you using perfectionism to do so? If you can't think of anything, just as we go through the episode, try to think of areas in your life that this might be coming up. Let them come up naturally as we go, okay? One example I can give you right off the bat, just to kind of, stir up the brain a little bit for you. I am a photographer on the side. I do photography, I do videography, and even the way I just said that, I caught myself there. Like I say on the side, but it's one of my really big passions and I really do enjoy doing it. I like doing it in the yoga retreat space and I like doing it in like the lifestyle space, but I guess I truly have a little bit of fear around it because it's so fun for me and it's something that takes a lot of time and effort to do, but it's very rewarding and honestly, it's a great skill to have. And I guess I don't want to part of my brain holds myself back from wanting to go at it 100%. So I always introduce it as, I do it on the side, or I also do this as a little side gig, but I really do like it. And one of the things that I saw my perfectionism come up a lot when I was doing that, where I was taking photos, editing them, and then giving them as a deliverable package to people, I was taking a long time to post it on my end. To give it to people, I was doing that at a decent turnaround rate. I was able to get the images edited and send them out. But when it came to posting it on my own photography page, you can check out my photography Instagram and there's not as many pictures as there should be there because I was really nitpicky with what I posted because I wanted it to come off as so nice and so good because I was fearful, I guess, of putting myself out there. And that's still something I'm working on. So that's something that I'm using these tips right now to kind of help me with that because I have a lot more photography endeavors coming up this summer, which I'm so excited about. And I need to get over this little fear I have of putting myself out there in this niche. So for me, it's not posting my work fully or holding myself back there because I guess I don't want to be seen. I want to be seen, but there's a part of me in my brain that's a little scared. So we're going to talk about, I think I put 5 little ways that we can work through this in our everyday and really, really make a difference. The first thing is, this can help you in so many ways, because maybe you're not even starting something. And I know this has come up for me in the past too. We're worthy right now. You don't have to earn your worth. That comes up in so many different areas in life. It can come up in relationships, the way you present yourself to the world. We often think, when I have X, then I'll X. When I have money, then I'll take the trip. When I get myself in shape, then I'll start dating again. Whatever it is. We don't need to accumulate things. We have this mindset that we think we have to go outside of ourselves to find everything. We need to get this, do this, then we become something. So we don't need to accumulate these things, whether that's a certification, like literally a certification, a certain status, views on something, whatever it is. Your brain is just trying to keep you safe by thinking that you need to go out and get these things. If you have knowledge on something, if you have an interest in something, you should be going for it. And I know it's easier to say than do, but it's true. We really do hold ourselves back thinking that we need to accumulate all these things outside of us, bring them into our lives, and then we become something. But you really are, and as corny as it sounds, you really are worthy right now. You don't need to earn your worth, you know? This usually comes from a limiting belief that someone told you a long time ago that you need to have a degree in this to do this, or that you need a really big following before you start posting stuff online, whatever it's about, like your personal page, a topic that you're into, a fitness page, anything along those lines. That if you want to share your arts and crafts that you like to make at the local market, you're like, oh, well, maybe I need to have like a whole business set up, or this, and this. And it's a lot of the times we hold ourselves back by thinking that we have to accumulate all these things and go outside of ourselves and wait till we hit a certain level, which secretly we know we're either not going to set, or we're in control now. We can take over and make sure that we secretly don't get to that level. So we're like, yeah, once I get to like level 8, I'll do it. But then you hold yourself back and you never get past level 5. So you can see how that is a problem. It's the root of it. And again, the root of it most of the time doesn't even come from you, which you can feel really good about it. It's rooted in capitalism and the way that society has always pushed us. Capitalism makes us think that we need more and more and more, and our worth that we have and the skills we have right now are not enough until you buy this course, until you do this, until you lose weight and look this way, or you're shaped this way, whatever it is. It's just because we have all these marketing messages that have been in our brains since we were literally little kids watching TV shows, because it's written, Disney plots have all of that in it. Anything you were watching as a kid, most of the time you see this plot reinforced. You hear it through your friends and family. It comes from capitalism. So you can at least take that weight off your shoulders. Like, you're not broken or anything for thinking this way. It's just the world we live in. And a good way out is we can unlearn it. So that's the beautiful thing about it. And just know that if you are interested in something a little bit more than the average person, or if you know just a little bit more than someone else about something, just go for it. Whatever it is, that's your passion, that's something that you're interested in, go for it. You don't need to earn anything. You can do it right now, even if it feels unfinished. Because I know, like, coming from myself, like sometimes, like when I'm like, oh, just post those photos or just do this, and this, I'm like, well, I can make it look better. No, just show up as you are, because you are worthy right now. You don't need to filter everything. You don't need to edit it. You don't need to go acquire these skills. You don't need a new camera. You don't need all these things. You can do it right now. You really are worthy right now. You're the only one holding yourself back. The next one's a bit of a little mindset shift that has helped me out so much. It really has, because when I don't want to do something and I have a pressure to do it, I do not want to do it. It's just like, you know, if you were a kid and your parents are telling you to do something, you have a natural resistance because you like to have autonomy of your life, right? Naturally, as a human, that's a design that we're built to want and have. So when someone tells you to do something, you have a little bit of a resistance to doing it. That's why discipline can feel hard, because then you're telling yourself you have to do things, and now you're having a resistance to yourself. That's basically why discipline can feel hard. I stumbled across this concept on TikTok, and I think it's so good. It's the idea of doing things out of devotion and not discipline. When we approach things from a framework of discipline, it often feels like we're forcing ourselves. It's a very pushy energy. It can feel restrictive. It can feel demanding. And when we shift it, because again, that's almost like a masculine energy where we're trying to tell ourselves, go, 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 do this, do that. When we shift it to the idea of devotion, being so devoted to something that it just comes naturally to you, that you do it because you're devoted to it, your energy shifts completely, okay? This connects you to your why, to your values, and it creates a gentle pull towards something that really matters to you, right? Think about how differently it feels to say, I have to work out because I should. Like, I should work out, so like I have to. That really doesn't motivate us ever. Versus, I choose to move my body because I'm devoting myself to feeling very strong and energized, or I'm devoted to being the healthiest, happiest version of myself. When you remember your values and your goals and you're like, yeah, I do prioritize my health, like I'm really into my health, like it makes it a little bit easier. I'm not saying this should give you like maybe an automatic motivation. Sometimes it does, but it should make it easier for you to get up and be like, wait, yeah. Or if you're like an artist and you're trying to get back into your art and you're like, I need to draw, like I need to get back into, I need to practice like my stick figures. I don't know. I need to practice, right? You can be like, well, I'm devoted to a creative life. Like my life should be creative. So let's just do something for fun. And then it kind of shifts you out of that energy that where you force yourself to do something. It kind of allows you to tap into that natural, feminine, flowing, nurturing, kind of intuitive energy rather than being very rigid and like forceful, you know? I can give a few examples of reframing it, okay? So I'm devoted to nourishing my body. Instead of I have to eat healthy, I have to add vegetables to my lunch today. Like I have to do it because fiber is good for me. I'm very devoted to nourishing my body. It can be a way you think about it. If you're trying to learn a new language, we're like, oh, I should practice this. I should learn a new language. I'm devoted to my cultural heritage or being proud of my culture. And then you get kind of hyped up. It makes you really hyped up on what your values are and your why and the things you identify with and align with. So just bring them into it, you know? If you're trying to get yourself to journal more, like you hate journaling, I'm devoted to my personal growth, you know? I'm so devoted to my personal growth that I can journal like 2 times a week. That helps me get out of a whole rut with it, you know? It helps me a lot with the gym. When I just remind myself, I'm like, yeah, like I'm the type of person who I like health. I like the way that moving my body makes me feel. I feel very energized after. I feel very nourished. And I'm devoting my life to be feeling like the best version I can. And you know what? Today, I should move my body. And again, I don't force myself, but it kind of aligns up with that. When we're devoted to something, it becomes part of who we are rather than something we're forcing ourselves to do. It's almost like an alignment rather than like an obligation, if you want to think about it this way. But connecting these actions to our values and approaching them with devotion, we create a very like sustainable, almost a loving relationship with our goals, okay? Rather than a very disciplinary one. And that can help you get moving on a lot of different things. The third thing is kind of tapping into the energy of abundance. So I've read a lot about this in different books and things, but I feel like I can take the idea about abundance and apply it to perfectionism because, again, perfectionism is a lack. It's a fear. We feel like we're not good enough. We feel like we can't do this. We're afraid to be seen in a sense. So that's a lack energy, which is the opposite of abundance. So when you have lack, you want to lean on abundance. Now, if that made sense, if it didn't, whatever. This point is asking yourself, how would you move in life if you knew that you had these things or you could do it? So basically, you're filling yourself up knowing that you're an abundant being, that you can do these things, that you already have this in your life. You're already an expert at this. How would you move? Because right now you're moving in a sense that you have a lack of something. You're moving because you don't think you're worthy enough. You don't think you're good enough. You don't think you have the right skills, knowledge, schooling, equipment, whatever it is. That's subconsciously what you're thinking. So basically, you're going to switch your mindset into acting from the perspective that you have these skills or you already have this outcome, okay? If you're trying to work on a business, act like you already have a successful business. I mean, that could be bad if you're like going to spend all your money, but you know what I mean? Like, act from a position of like, okay, I'm a woman with a business. How would I act? Or you have these skills where you're like, yeah, you know what? I can dance. I'm good at dancing, and I shouldn't be afraid to learn more choreo because like I already can dance. Like, and even if you've never danced a day in your life, okay, try to tell yourself that or think from the perspective that you already have these things. You already have the skills, or you know you could do it. It's just confidence basically, but you're thinking backwards to kind of instill that confidence. So some examples, again, tapping into like abundance mindset. If you already knew that you were making money, how would you act? If you're feeling like you're really stressed out about money all the time, if you already knew you were making money and money was coming in, how would you act? You might, in general, feel less stressed, okay? You might release your grip on something that you have a tight grip on. Or maybe you would take very smart, calculable risks, okay? Maybe you're not allowing yourself to do these things. You find yourself very stressed. You're gripping onto everything. You're not letting anything go, and you're not taking any risks. Well, if you knew that you had money coming in, you might release the tightness of that grip on things. You might feel a little bit less stressed. You might be able to enjoy watching a movie tonight instead of freaking out about your financial worth. So these things can truly really shift you and give you a much better mindset and day, If you believe that you were smart enough, you would share with you what you know with the world. If you're holding yourself back because you don't feel as educated as you should be on a topic, if you knew that you were smart and that these skills that you have are worth it, you would share. You wouldn't be afraid that others are going to judge you, okay? Because you believe that the info that you were sharing is cool, it's helpful, it's useful, it'll benefit somebody. So what we're doing is we're dialing back to find the root. Like I said in the last example, you're afraid of judgment in that example, okay? You're not sharing yourself and what you think and know and the knowledge you have and the cool stories you have because you think you're going to be judged that you're not smart enough. So you can dial back and be like, okay, so I have a fear of judgment. In the other example, you're always stressed, you're gripping onto everything, you don't take any risks because you have a fear of lack of money. So one, this can help you move in the future and give yourself a little bit of confidence to do different things. How would you move if you knew that you had these skills or that you could do it? But it can also help you dial back and find the root of the reason why that you're holding yourself back. Building on to this, now that we can kind of find the root, number 4 is thinking back to the first time that somebody told you that you couldn't do this, whatever it is. That could have been an actual person or it could have came through something else. It could have came through school, could have came through TV shows. Maybe once yourself, this came from you, once you tried something and then you gave up. So now your brain is like, okay, well, I can't do this because I tried it once when I was 17 and it didn't work out. So maybe you told yourself this and you created that limiting belief. Remember, our brain operates, number 1, to keep us safe. It's always trying to keep us safe. That's why it does everything. And number 2, it operates from the past. So it dwells on past experiences and then you act right now based on the past experiences that you have accumulated in your brain. And if it thinks something in the past was fearful and not safe, that's how you're going to move now. You're going to move in ways that protect you from those things because you tried it before and it didn't work, and your brain interprets that as, oh no, I could die. Your brain interprets everything as if you can die. So that's why if we feel unsafe or like something wasn't worth it in the past based on how we perceived it back then, the brain will try and justify right now why we shouldn't do it. It's like a computer system, But the thing is, our brain can also operate off false information. Our brain can easily get hacked. If you think about your head as a computer system, it has data, yeah, but is it true data? No, your brain just basically made an assumption about something that happened and it stuck with it to keep us safe because that's what it's programmed to do. It flushes out the same program over and over again. So again, we can step back. We can look at this with compassion that our brain is just trying to protect us at all times. And then we can work to realize, hey, maybe these things aren't true. We can challenge our beliefs. So try to think back to when this came about. And when we have the awareness, sometimes it just makes it easier to break these things down. And then we can use the method we just talked about before. Okay, now that you know you're like where it came from and that this fear isn't yours and what the fear is, how would you move if you knew that you could do it, if you had these skills? That kind of wraps up what I really wanted to push to the point in this episode. Sometimes I find myself writing so many points for each episode and really wanting to dive deeper and like keep going, but I don't think having more bullet points means more information necessarily. I think these 4 points are so good and I would really love for you to think about them and see how you can change things in your life, knowing that you're worthy now, that you don't have to earn anything, that you can try to switch your mindset from doing things out of devotion instead of forcing yourself to do it from a place of discipline. Thinking about how you would move if you already had these things, that if you were living in this abundant mindset, that you weren't lacking something specifically, like how would you move knowing that you had these skills, that you are smart enough to do it? Kind of ties back to number 1. And then lastly, you can use our last point that we just talked about to help you kind of dig down and find where this lie, because it's a lie, this false belief, limiting belief came from. So I hope you can do a lot with this episode. Please follow up with me. I love hearing from everybody. My Instagram is Happy Holistic Hippie. Send me a message about this. Send me a message if you'd love to hear another topic on the episode. I got a lot of cool things coming this summer. We're going to have consistent podcast episodes. I'm actually going to be traveling a lot, like I said, with photography. I'm bouncing around different countries, which will be really fun. So I'm going to have episodes made in advance, so they're up on the show and we have a consistent summer schedule, but I'll still be active. Like I'll be posting it on my phone. We also are going to have the merch rolling out at the end of the month. Very excited about that. We have some cool tote bags, t-shirts, stickers, things of that nature. Everything's going to be really fun and aesthetic, so I hope you enjoy. We'll get more details on that probably by next week or the week after on the show. I'll let you know, so let's stay up to date. We also are going to have an online studio dropping this summer, a little bit later in the summer. It's going to be like an online portal where you can access not only just like yoga classes and meditations, but in-depth like lessons and mini courses on mindset, secret podcast episodes. We're gonna have a ton of good stuff on there, so I'm just dropping the seeds right now, but we'll get more information as we go with the episodes each week. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon.